We are now in the heat of spring practice, and that means it's time to talk about quarterback competition throughout college football. Over the next few days, I will be going over a handful of competitions you may want to keep an eye on, and this marks the second part of this series. But before we get into this, let me know in the comment section below which quarterback battle you are most excited to watch. Today, I want to start off by talking about the quarterback battle we may be watching down in College Station. Texas A&M is coming off the best recruiting class of all time when it comes to player grades coming out of high school. Although it will be a few years until we know how good that class truly is, it feels like the A&M roster this year may be set up to make a run at Alabama in the SEC West. Whether that actually happens or not will depend on who is playing quarterback and how well they are playing. Haynes King was a highly touted recruit coming out of high school and won the starting job out of camp last year. Unfortunately, we only got to see King play in one game after he suffered a broken leg against Colorado. If he is able to return to how he was before the injury, King is an athletic freak and has improved his accuracy. During the spring game this past weekend, he completed 11 of his 33 passes and had 2 interceptions, finishing the disappointing day with only 3.9 yards per attempt. On the other hand, Max Johnson impressed, finishing with 2 passing touchdowns and completing 6 straight passes during the middle of the game. He seemed to have the most control of the offense throughout the afternoon. He did only complete 13 of his 31 passes though, and throughout his college career, Johnson has thrown for 35 touchdowns and 7 interceptions and has 8 games of throwing for 3 touchdowns or more. The question when it comes to Max is whether he is mobile enough to do what Jimbo Fisher likes to do. Throughout camp, reporters have talked about how Johnson looks more mobile than expected and how he could be taking an early lead for the starting job. Connor Wigman is also worth mentioning. The way Jimbo Fisher has talked about him, you can make an argument he was the gem of the Aggies' historical recruiting class. He looks to be a mix of the abilities of the previously mentioned quarterbacks, but has had his ups and downs throughout the spring game. Along with that, Fisher doesn't like to play true freshmen, so many expect Connor to redshirt this season. Going into the spring, King was viewed to be the favorite to win the job, but now it looks like things have swung in Johnson's direction. There were a lot of drop passes throughout the afternoon, and winds were 25 to 30 miles per hour. If I were a betting man, right now I feel like Johnson may be the starter if the season started today. But the season does not start today, and this battle will go far into fall camp, and Jimbo Fisher will probably keep his cards close to his chest. Penn State enters their 9th spring with James Franklin as their head coach. Wait, did I read that right? Wow, it feels like just yesterday Franklin got that job. Wild. Oh yeah, as they enter their 9th spring with Franklin at the helm, they have one of the more interesting quarterback battles beginning, and it truly will be old versus new. Sean Clifford returns for his 6th year of eligibility and turns 24 this fall, while Drew Aller enters his freshman year in Happy Valley. Clifford has put up some impressive numbers over the past few seasons, throwing for a combined 4,800 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions between 2020 and 2021, yet the Nittany Lions are 11-11 during that time span. If Clifford wins the job, it will mark his 4th consecutive year as Penn State's starting quarterback, and Franklin prefers veteran quarterbacks. When it comes to Aller, there's a lot of excitement surrounding the 5-star recruit. As one publication puts it, Aller has mouth-watering physical talent, and the fanbase, to my understanding, has soured on Clifford and wants to see something new. If Penn State wants to take a major leap, then Aller gives them the best chance to do that. The thing is, while I feel like this is a battle worth mentioning, James Franklin does not believe he has a quarterback battle on his hands. So if I had to make a prediction, I would expect Clifford to be the Nittany Lions starting quarterback come week 1. With that being said, a lot can change between now and the start of the season, and Penn State does not play their spring game until the end of April, so who knows. Next, I want to talk about the quarterback battle going down in the swamp. Originally, it looked like this was going to be between Anthony Richardson, Emory Jones, and Jack Miller, but Jones entered the transfer portal, so it now looks to be a 2-man race. Richardson could have entered the transfer portal and would have been one of the top quarterbacks in the country, but decided to stay. His potential is through the roof, and many called for him to be the starter last year. He was an electric playmaker showing his ability in flashes, but was unable to stay healthy and was unable to participate in bowl practice. Richardson also fits the mold that Napier had at Louisiana with Levi Lewis, and he also has a lot of hype around him going back to last year. Jack Miller, on the other hand, transferred to Florida after being buried on the depth chart at Ohio State. He is much more of a drop-back quarterback, but has some athleticism. He is a former 4-star recruit and had developed a relationship with Napier when he was coming out of high school. With that being said, many believe Napier brought Miller in to serve as the backup to Richardson just in case Jones did decide to transfer. Richardson has so much potential, the question is how will he be able to return from his meniscus tear. I do not really think this will be much of a battle, and if Richardson is 100% healthy, then he will be the starting quarterback for Napier and the Gators. He's just too talented not to be. When DJ Uiagalelei stepped in to play for Trevor Lawrence when he missed a few games a few years ago, you would have never thought he would be in a quarterback battle with a true freshman only 2 years later. But college football is a crazy sport, and that's where we are right now. This past season, DJ only threw for 2,246 yards, 9 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, but Clemson still went 10-3, but they did not play in the ACC championship game. It's crazy to think how different the year and narrative would have changed had Clemson beaten Georgia in week 1 last year. Things only got worse for DJ when he went 5 straight games without throwing a touchdown. That being said, DJ is an extremely talented quarterback and a former 5-star recruit. On the other hand, there is true freshman and 5-star recruit Cade Klubnik. Klubnik was the All-American Bowl Player of the Year last year and skyrocketed up recruiting boards after a strong junior and senior seasons to finish as the best quarterback in the class. While DJ struggled in the spring game, Klubnik seemed to shine, completing 15 of his 23 passes for 106 yards and a touchdown. It looks like he is trying to put the pressure on Uiagalelei throughout the fall, and if anything, it gives DJ a shorter leash. It will be interesting to see how Dabo handles this situation, as it brings back the memory of the Kelly Bryant vs. Trevor Lawrence quarterback battle a few years ago. Did Dabo learn lessons from that situation that he is now using today? Who knows? There wasn't a quarterback battle going into the spring game. There is an argument to be made that there should be a battle after watching the performances. After the game though, Dabo told the media, DJ is definitely our starter. He's had a great spring and not done anything to not be the starter. I'm proud of DJ. We're missing a lot of pieces, but he did what he needed to do to give himself some momentum going into the summer, from a totality standpoint. But Cade is a really talented player. We've got 2 guys I think can win at a high level, just like Trevor and DJ coming out of the spring a couple years ago. I've seen enough of both of those guys to know that. It's a good situation. So I think DJ will at least start the season as a starting quarterback, but who knows who will end it. Oregon probably has one of the more curious quarterback battles on their hands with a brand new coaching staff. When Bo Nix decided to transfer to Eugene, there were some uproars, and that only got louder when Robbie Ashford transferred to Auburn. But Dan Lanning thinks that they have a mature group, and he is happy to have a competition. Many believe Lanning brought Nix in to bring an SEC experience to help Jay Butterfield and Ty Thompson. At Auburn, Nix threw for 7,251 yards, 39 touchdowns and 16 interceptions, while also rushing for 869 yards and 18 touchdowns on the ground. Throughout his Auburn career, he struggled with consistency and changes at the head coach and offensive coordinator positions. He'll be reuniting with former offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham. Ty Thompson, on the other hand, is the highest rated quarterback recruit Oregon has ever landed. He only attempted 15 passes last year. Many fans believe Thompson is the right choice to be the Ducks' starting quarterback and was the #1 dual threat quarterback in his class. Jay Butterfield is a dark horse candidate for the job. He is the son of a former NFL quarterback and has a high football IQ. The former 4-star recruit only saw action against Stony Brook, completing 2 of his 3 passes last year. While many are predicting Nix to win the starting job, I'm going to have a bold take and predict Ty Thompson to win the job. But what do you think? Which competition are you most intrigued by? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more college football content. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.